Welcome to Carrolls Cove Beach Bar and Restaurant, which is famous for its white sandy beaches, its turquoise water and its panoramic views of Kenmare Bay.
Myself and my late husband bought this place in 1984. It's family owned, family friendly. My daughter and my son are here with me in the business, and also my son-in-law Richard. So it's all in the family, and we're so proud of the place.
The history of the place really, it was built as a mushroom house, where mushrooms were harvested and grown. Right behind our backs here there was a greenhouse, and there was anthracite poured through a manhole from the top of Ringkerry Road down into the greenhouse, which created obviously the heat to produce the mushrooms. The mushrooms were packaged and they were exported all over the country and possibly all over the world. The main bar area is predominantly was a mass concrete structure, and it was some years later that the windows were actually cut out by hand, lump hammer, chisel. And we got a customer who comes in every evening. He has his powers in his pint of Guinness. The man's probably in his 80s, and he was one of the people to actually manually cut out the openings. It went through many owners over the years. Has been in the O'Carroll family for 31 years this year. That's why the place is affectionately known as Carrolls Cove. And it's just basically gone from strength to strength over the years. Because Ringkerry probably is one of the busiest tourist routes in the country. We get people from all over the world here.
And the Wild Atlantic Way as well, it's one of the substantial stops.
It is. The Wild Atlantic Way is fantastic, and whoever thought it up should be applauded and should be given some kind of free man of this country, because, you know, it's about time we recognise we actually live on an island with so much to offer. And the Wild Atlantic Way, we feel, is going to be the buzzword for a long, long time to come in tourism in Ireland. We're already seeing the effects of it, not alone for here, but for the overall island of Ireland.
The finest horse I've ever seen, standing 16, 1 or 2.
The history of this area is fascinating. We're here at Carrolls Cove, the Beachside Bar. It's not called a Beachside Bar for no reason, because, you know, there are people been coming here for millennia. The first invasion happened over the water, not so far from here. But the second one, the Greeks, 1,000 Greeks landed on this beach here. And it's hard to believe that, you know, an invasion force came into Ireland and they landed right on this damn beach here. It's just amazing, right? And then eventually the Vikings came here, of course, and the Vikings were solely or singly responsible for the demise of the Christian settlement on the Skellig Rocks, for instance, you know, because, as you know, our history here over many years, we were always involved in some sort of ongoing saga and battle, and I think it began and ended on this beach here.
I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to.
Okay, Michelle, I'll take you straight through in here now. And in here is a time capsule.
Wow.
It's going to be a living time capsule. What we're basically promoting it for is where people that come on the holidays to Ireland, touring the Wild Atlantic Way, the Ringkerry, call here to Carrolls Cove. And what we're basically asking people to do is that they'll bring a little envelope, some photographs, a bit of literature about who they are, their background, how they're Irish, their roots and everything else, and literally post it in here. Now, this property is in the O'Carroll family 31 years this year, so it's going to be 100 years, but it's really going to be 69 years time when it'll be opened. And we'll be hoping that in 69 years time that maybe Catherine's grandchildren will be the ones that will be opening it, and that people from all over the world will be coming to see what did my grandparents leave at Carrolls Cove when they came here in 2015 or whenever. So it is something that we'll have up and running on the world stage for next season. You know, people come from all the world, kiss the Blarney Stone and whatnot, they're going to start coming out to put their postage into our living time capsule here at Carrolls Cove.
great working here. I've been working here since I was a child. It's pretty busy, can get hectic at times. We've got live music on a regular basis, so it keeps us moving behind the bar. We've clients from all over the world, United States, Germany, France, England, and we have a lot of Irish tourists as well from the cities, Cork, Dublin, Limerick.
So what's all this about the best pint of Guinness on the Wild Atlantic Way?
I drink Guinness, only drink Guinness, so I consider myself to be a little bit of a connoisseur on the Irish wine known as Guinness. So there you go. Best pint of Guinness certainly in the Wild Atlantic Way, if not in the whole island of Ireland, and the challenge is out there.
So what do we have here, Ray?
This is our seafood platter. Our seafood platter changes as the season goes on, depending on the type of fish that we have coming in. Everything that's on this plate here right now has come from Kenmare Bay. These are our mussels, which are basically very simple. They're beautiful, sweet, fresh mussels. Sometimes they come in totally fresh on the day, in fact, after being taken off the ropes outside in the bay. What you have here is a mixture of crab claws and prawns. Again, from here, this is a smoked mackerel, which in years gone by was a huge business that was here in the area, was mackerel and smoking it. This is a piece of cod, just very lightly battered. We make a beer batter out of Carrolls. This is what we would have as our half dozen oysters. It comes with a shot of Guinness, which is their au naturel, have a little bit of Tabasco, a little bit of black pepper if you wish. That's our portion, standard portion of mussels, as you can see, is very, very generous. You see, it's a huge portion of mussels. Like a lot of places, you get it. This would be the standard portion. That's our standard portion.
And is it true, Ray, that this is the only stone-baked pizza on the Ring of Kerry?
Absolutely. We pride ourselves in that. Like obviously, like you got other places doing pizzas, but we're the only one that is actually making our own bases, rolling them out, shaping them, topped with all fresh fish. So it's one of our signature dishes. Seafood is our speciality, so why wouldn't we have a seafood pizza? So dig in.
Will do.
Enjoy.
I was practically brought up in this house. Used to spend all my summers here and got on very well with the family here. They looked after me like a son, and so I love it here. It's a great place to do nothing, if you want to do nothing.
Hello and welcome to Achill Island on the west coast of Ireland. Achill's renowned for its stunning scenery, its rugged coastline. It has amazing surfing, kayaking, hill walking, anything you could want. Today we're going to meet Alan, who runs Gieltys Bar and Restaurant. Gieltys is one of the most western pubs in Europe. Let's go check it out. How are you doing, Alan? How's things?
Good, Connor. How are you?
How are you doing?
You're welcome to Gieltys.
Thanks a million. Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome, now.
So how long have you been here in Achill?
I grew up here, and I left when I was 18, and I went away to Dublin, and I trained as a cabinet maker, so making hand furniture, which I done for 13 years. I came back here in June '99, and I ran the pub for a few years as I was the third generation, and we had a bar and a B&B. And then I noticed that the business trade had kind of changed a little bit, it was getting quieter and quieter, and either I had to shut the place or do it up. So I've done it up, so we've 10 years now. This year we've refurbished into a bar, restaurant, coffee shop.
There's a lot of history to this bar.
Yeah, I'm third generation here, and where actually you are at the minute is where I was, as myself and my brother had as kids. This was our bedroom.
Right.
So this would have been really, the old pub was in this section, and when my dad had it, they moved on, and then the B&B and the bar was out on the other side. And it's funny now that the third generation has actually brought it back to its original place,
How are you doing, Michael?
How are you?
Thanks for talking to us today.
Oh, there's no problem at all. I'm delighted to do it.
So you're one of the shark hunters?
I'd be one of the shark hunters. I mightn't look like one, but I was one.
So you're born and raised in Achill?
Born and raised, actually, yeah. I was never too keen on having a pub. My number one would have been fishing. But then we came back on holidays from England, and my dad was ill, So he died, so I had no choice but to stay at home.
Has the pub changed a lot over the years?
Oh, it's changed. It's amazing how much it has changed. It's all completely turned round. The things you'd see from years ago, say you would take the bicycles and to see a man trying to climb up on a bike and him after having 10 pints of Guinness. Oh, I tell you, it was something else. Yeah.
And it's one of the most westerly pubs.
Yeah, it's one of the most westerly pub in Ireland. Yeah, if you're geographically, you're the most westerly, because if you're in Athlone and you want to go to West, you go to Mayo. If you want to go to most westerly point in Mayo, you come to Achill, and I'm actually the most westerly pub on Achill, yeah.
And you've another kind of novel way of getting people to and from the pub as well.
Yeah, I run a free shuttle bus in 2010. I bought a minibus, a shuttle bus. So it's all advertising Gieltys free shuttle. So we'll pick you up from your accommodation or a campsite or anywhere within a radius of maybe 5 or 6 miles. We'll bring you here, you can have food, you can have drink, and you're dropped home free of charge.
And you won an award for the service?
Yeah, I won an RSA award in 2011 for the best business idea. So
brilliant.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. We get a lot of people back that have been here 30 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, they're just kind of coming out of like, they may have been here when they were younger or whatever else, and then went off living all over wherever they live in the country, or maybe mainland Europe. Their families have grown up and they're just coming back out for old time's sake. Yeah. And it's amazing they will still drop in and ask about this place and that place. So
I'd say there's a lot of interesting characters through the years.
We have a fair few characters coming in, yeah, we would have. Yeah. A lot of famous people actually came through there. Like Julia Roberts was in the coffee shop there 2 years ago, believe it or not. We've had Shane Byrne, the rugby team, we've Shay Jennings, I've Darren Fletcher from Manchester United. They just all drop in. And
yeah, I see the jersey on the wall there.
Yeah, Darren's a cousin of ours, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, his mum is Gieltys, so he comes to Achill. But he's been coming here as a little kid, yeah.
So I've heard Gieltys is a great place for music.
Yeah, we have a good name for traditional Irish music. There's a summer school here, which is called Scollachla. It's a traditional Irish music school. And 30 years ago, when this type of music they were trying to promote it big time, and it only came into Achill. We were one of the first pubs that had traditional music in it. And it began to take off, and then this music school was quite huge. So we would have a lot of good traditional sessions here. Like we've had Leisha Kelly is actually a neighbour of mine. Leisha has a couple of albums. She's played with Christy Moore. She played with Sinead O'Connor. Wow. She'll be a regular here now playing music. So you would most weekends, every Friday and Saturday night is a traditional session here and a bit of a sing-song.
And there's a slate there above your head, I see.
Yeah, there's a bit of history about that. I'll actually take it down there. You have a look at it. This is a German customer that would come to us. Comes to Achill actually twice a year. But he landed this in 2005 in March, and he couldn't believe, because I was in the process of redeveloping it. So he came in, what's happening? So I brought him through and I was explaining what was through, and there was rubble as you would in the building, like left to one side. And he went over and he says, "Can I take a slate?" And this would have been off the old building. And I says, "No problem." So I just thought nothing else of it. And he came back, obviously in 2006, and he got a clock made. So there, time for a pint in Gieltys.
I see your whiskey menu there.
Yeah, I'm doing 12 premium whiskies. I'm the only bar in Ireland that's doing this. And it's amazing. People think, "Oh, why are you doing this?" But somebody comes in, for an example, I had 4 French customers come in to me last Friday week, and they just said whiskey, so I handed them the whiskey menu. 2 of them had a redbreast whiskey. There was one of the premium whiskey and one had a Middleton.
Oh, right. And the cafe seems to be going strong there. It seems very busy.
Yeah, it's like everything else. We do bar food as well, but some people prefer to sit in the cafe or the coffee shop and have their food there. We serve both sides.
Okay.
Some people prefer the warmer atmosphere of a pub or whatever else, and some people prefer the quieter atmosphere of a coffee shop, yeah.
Right on, thanks a million for talking to us today.
You're very welcome, Conor. Anytime, call in again now for a pint or a coffee, whichever you want.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Cheers.
I wouldn't swap this for anywhere else. If I didn't have the house here, I wouldn't come back here. I'd be afraid, it hurts too much. And it's an addictive place. As you can see, on a day like today, where would you want to go?
Where else would you be?
Yeah, and you don't need it. This is so fantastic.
So that's it from Gieltys Bar and Restaurant. I'm off to check out what the rest of Achill has to offer. See you next time.
Well, I think people should come to Norris because I think it's a very special place. It's set in the most wonderful area. This area is just glorious. It's so beautiful. It really is.
Welcome to the beautiful southwest of Donegal, and here we are in this picturesque village that is Portnew. Today we visit Annora's, which is a traditional old-style pub just a stone's throw away.
Well, this building, I believe, has always been a pub. It's been in existence since the mid-1800s. Just talking to local people generally, I'm able to kind of do a timeline right back to that time.
Anne has always really wanted to own her own place. We were born and reared in a pub. She phoned me up one day and she says, "Guess what, Nora? I've found a place for us to run." And I thought, I am not setting foot in a pub in Donegal if it's raining. It's always going to be raining in Donegal. But lo and behold, on the day I came, the sun was shining. I mean, splitting the rocks. So I thought this is some sort of sign for me. We wanted to sort of show that it was going to be two women that were running the pub, which is quite unusual, you know. So we decided then, well, why don't we use our own names? So there was a debate, would it be Anne, Nora, Anne, whatever. Anyway, we thought Annora tripped of the tongue a bit better, so we went with Annora.
If I could, I'd build a wall around Donegal.
I love the music, like a few pints, can't drink as many as I used, but it's just great.
The music in this pub is excellent. The music, the food and the crack. And the you couldn't beat the crack.
Believe you me, there's no place like home, and there's no place like Donegal.
This pub would be pretty famous now. There was the woman who owned the pub here, Betty Boyle was her name, and Karen and O'Donnell used to drink in here. Betty Boyle was very kind of stingy, and she would only keep one candle at all the time. And from Karen, he didn't want to come into the bar because he didn't want to be showing that he was drinking. So he'd drink in the kitchen and he'd be reading the paper in the kitchen. So then if he wasn't paying for his drink, you see, and then if the paying customer came in, Betty's just swiped the candle and waved out to the bar and left the candle in the dark. So. A lot of us came and they had their own book and they served themselves, and they went up the shelf and they took down their book with they put up their names, should they be Clancy or McGlynn or whatever their names were, and took down the book and wrote Martin the amount of drink they drank for the night, and then they paid for it at the end of the week or maybe at the end of the month when they're going away. Now, you wouldn't do that now.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
The layout of the pub was pretty much as it has been for the last 50 odd years. I started to put pictures of musicians up in the bar because I'm particularly interested in traditional music. And then when Thomas and I got married, he was a very welcome addition to put on the wall down there. That picture's very special. So.
You've quite a bit of jazz music here as well, I see.
Yes, and we have a real bonus. Manuel, in fact, I think he was here last night, so you may even have seen him. Brilliant musician himself.
Host live music here 7 nights a week.
Yeah, we try to put on entertainment as much as possible because, well, in this day and age, it's a necessity to give people a reason to come to the pub. That's very important to us.
We get a good buzz out of it whenever we see the place, everybody enjoying themselves and knowing that we've created
the situation. It is. It's lovely to stand back, as Thomas says, and just watch everybody having a good time and think, well, that's what the job's all about. We've had christenings, we've had weddings, After wedding parties, we've had a number of weddings, including our own was here. And we were the talk of the place, but we had a wedding that lasted 3 days.
You know what the prices we bet for that week?
We did, yeah. We didn't charge full prices for everything. That's right, Thomas. Yeah. We pride ourselves now on the menu. The menu is very simple. It's a very simple menu, but everything on it is homemade. It's there's nothing cooked from frozen. It's all fresh stuff. And Pete, our chef, has worked very hard to, ensure that the standard has been kept over the last couple of years. So we're very, very happy about that.
And you have a B&B here as well, I see. Yeah.
Our bed and breakfast is the kind of place that people come and then they decide quite on the spur of the moment that they want to stay if there's something going on. So it's really good to have the rooms that we can do that with. Then the Wild Atlantic Way has brought a lot more tourists to the area as well, and that's been very welcome. And Fulch Ireland have created a new category of bed and breakfast. It's called the Welcome Standards, which has been wonderful. We've had a really good response from that. But generally in the area, people notice there's much more tourist activity because of the Wild Atlantic Way. So it's been really, really good.
We're very blessed with good staff. Yeah. And the great thing here, Donegal lads and lasses, they have an amazing work ethic. And I that right from the word go, I could not believe this.
I enjoy chatting to the people and getting to know, hearing stories, and every night in the locals, hear stories from them every evening they're in. I work most nights over the winter. It's lively and it's homely. It's cosy wee pubs, so it is like, I don't know, it's just natural, so it is.
I think the Irish pub is it's very important, because an Irish pub is a hugely important part of the community. From a social point of view, there are a lot of people who are isolated in a rural area like this. And it's important that they have the contact with their neighbours and friends, and that we're here to give that provision. It adds to the vibrancy of any community. So, and that, I think it's very important that the Irish pub is kept alive.
Here we are in the picturesque village. What? You do the clap?
Hello and welcome to Achill, Ireland. I'm just going around, driving around the country, talking to myself.